reeling into these Timberwolves fans.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast. Obviously, here with myself, Thunder Talk, Sapphire, and Capers. Man, what a game from OKC tonight. 114 to 88 in game one. Um, kind of something we were expecting, but obviously very great to see. Stats real quick: Shai 31, 5, and 9. Not too efficient tonight, but got to go in the second half. J-Dub 19, 8, and 5. Not too efficient again, but really good defense from J-Dub tonight.
Absolutely.
Chet 15 and 7. I think he had 9 points in the third quarter alone. And Hartenstein in limited minutes 12 and 5, 6 of 8 from the field. From the bench, we got Caruso 9 points, Isaiah 7 points. Kaysen came in, outstanding defense on Ant, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists off the bench. And then, the rest, Kenrich Williams, big minutes tonight, 10 minutes, 8 points, had some big shots, a nice mid-range and a three-pointer to go in for the third quarter. It was a really, really great win. And what OKC was able to do tonight was rest their players without a rest day. Hartenstein played 20 minutes tonight, not because of the matchup, because of we've been playing every other day and we didn't get any rest. So we were able to dominate the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Final Game 1, with Hartenstein only playing 20 minutes. Chet only played 26. Lou played 28. Caruso played 22, but he didn't play he's going to be playing 30 minutes. We were able to have Kaysen play 33. J-Dub plays 33. And Shai played 38. So while dominating tonight, able to get some extra rest in and get ready for game 2.
Yeah, man. What even is a Timberwolf, man? This is fun, bro. I got all y'all in my DMs right now.
Oh,
and I
man.
love it. I love it right now. This fan base, they actually believe they're gonna win a game this series. Can't believe it, man.
Not shooting like that.
They might get one, but let me try to explain why I think this goes 5, 6 the most. And Edwards is very inconsistent. We have a lot of defenders we could throw at him. He's a great player, but I mean, between Caruso, Kaysen, and Lou, he's going to be in hell for the rest of this series. Julius Randle shoots 9 of 13 tonight, 5 of 6 from 3 with 28 points. I don't see him consistently, shooting 5 threes and making threes from 40 feet. And he shot that well, and they still lost by a sizable margin. And they're going to need Dante DiVincenzo in this series, and he has no matchup in this series as well. That's also Kaysen and Caruso and Lou and Shai. He's not getting anything this series. Naz Reid could be a big for them, but he was over 7 tonight. And Gobert, he's got no matchup either. They just don't match up well. This is what I was saying, while we were in the Denver series, I was like, I want Minnesota over Golden State because of the matchups. I think Minnesota's a good team. They have a good roster.
True.
They got no matchup for OKC. It's just OKC's got way too much for them.
And Gobert is such a non-factor offensively, bro. It is ridiculous, dude. We had him.
We saw that coming, though. We knew that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. It wasn't a surprise, so they take him out. They go small. Chet destroys their small ball lineup in the third quarter. It was crazy. We break the game open. We're just a better team. We're a deeper team. The scoreboard reflects everything I predicted and expected from this series going forward.
Here's one thing I could point out, and it's kind of like beating the same drum over and over and over again. We did our series preview, and we said there's no way Mark Daigneault could start 2 bigs. Looking at the lineup, there's just no reason to. You're not scared of Gobert at all. He had 3 rebounds tonight, by the way. You're not scared of Randle absolutely dominating J-Dub and Dort in the paint. You're just not. So why would you start 2 bigs against a really long defensive Minnesota team with McDaniels, Edwards, and Randle, and you could include Gobert in that? Why start 2? And they come out playing like shit for probably multiple reasons. 1, double big. 2, they're a little rusty. I mean, they haven't had any rest. They go straight in from a 7-game series and playing the same team in Denver over and over and over again. Now they got a new opponent. So yeah, Russ was expected, but again, it's the Western Conference Finals. It's time to start like knowing your personnel and who you're playing against. And like right when we took Chet off the floor, we took Chet off first.
Mm-hmm.
We were +8 in like 2 minutes, and then obviously we went away from the double big the rest of the game for most of the game. I expect him to adjust to that, and we won't see that lineup again. But we can't be starting slow, and it's been the same conversation over and over and over. And it's like we were saying originally it's the double big, but we were kind of speculating. Now there's so many like stats, and if you just watch the game, it's so clear that when we don't have two centers on the floor against anybody, our offense is number one in the league, if not number two.
We have a negative
blowout
net
teams.
rating with a double big lineup. A negative net rating, and a team that has this many wins should never have that. And with Caruso, we're like a +20. With any of the other guys, we're at least a plus in terms of a lineup. So, I mean, it's pretty. There's enough of a case that we can make, not just from an eye test perspective, but from the stats perspective as well, that tell us the double big is not working.
So why do they keep doing it then?
I don't want to.
This is what I don't understand. If
I don't want to go at them because we keep blowing out teams. But I mean, it's obviously one person's decision, and that's the head coach. And I mean, listen, we've still been winning, but we could blow teams out so much faster, man, if we were able just to start small. But it's a great stat here. I mean, for a team to have a negative net rating with one lineup, but have the second best all-time net rating in a season ever, I mean, that's got to tell you something. So, I mean, hopefully we're able to move away from that lineup and continue to have a lot of success against this Minnesota team, because we will.
Joe, I've got a crazy stat for us via Brandon Rubar on X. Our victory of the margin of victory for the Thunder, even while playing this double big lineup, has been 51 points, 19 points, 6 points, 2 points, 43 points, 5 points, 7 points, 32 points, 26 points. That's an average margin of victory of 21.4 points. And that's with a negative lineup. Imagine if we played a positive lineup throughout the whole series, throughout this whole playoff series.
Like you mean to tell me Mark sits there and knows that stat, because he knows that an average win margin of 21 points, 21 points in the whole playoff, and you're playing a negative net rating. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, but the good thing is, even with that, able to beat the team by 26 tonight in the Western Conference Final. You don't see that too often. I know it's the first game. It's a feel-out game. They will adjust. We will too, hopefully. And if we're able to start with our lineup without Hartenstein in it, I think we rout them in game 2 as well.
Yeah,
like it won't take an absolute dominant second half to still blow these guys out. Like we won the second half by what 30 points. 30 points.
Yeah, man. This was a great core win. We haven't had one where I was like, hey, man, the whole core performed really well. I feel like this one was one of the first ones where I'm like, Chet performed up to the level that we needed him to do in terms of from like a defensive standpoint and offensive, and then J-Dub stepped up as well, Chet. And then, inserting Kenrich after not having played pretty much throughout the whole playoffs is absolutely a ridiculous move. And that was one of the things that we said in the, preview to this is we have such a flexible roster that we can make adjustments such as Kenrich or J. Will and inserting them. And I think I mentioned Kenrich, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go ahead and take credit for that in the preview where I said we should be playing Kenrich in this because he's a wing and probably limit J. Will. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm happy that exactly worked out and he played well tonight. And I think throughout the series, like we need a lot more wing play. He's a great small ball guy. And that was another point that I made. He's great in the small ball, and that lineup worked in the regular season. So I didn't see why it wouldn't work in the playoffs, and it did. So I'm happy about it, man. Mark clearly did his homework before going into this. So
absolutely. And really another great point by you, but early in the game, it was also great to see because J-Dub didn't have it going early, neither did Chet. But who took over? The MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was our offense in the beginning of the game. So was Ihart. Him and Ihart were going pretty good. I mean, they kept us afloat until our guys were ready to play. I got a comment here on YouTube I want to get to. He disagrees with me. He said it's not pretty, but there's a strategy to playing the double big. If we go small, mini goes small, and I think we have to be real and acknowledge that their forward depth isn't actually small. Their forward depth isn't actually small, but if you actually were watching the fourth quarter, we had a lineup of Shai, Lou, J-Dub, Caruso, and Casey Wallace, and we were blowing them out of the park. Blowing them out of the park with that lineup. They could not guard us. They could not score on that lineup. You have to understand, it doesn't matter if they're small or not. Caruso has been guarding Jaren Jackson Jr. and Nikola Jokic. Like, it doesn't matter. Again, our double big has a negative net rating. We don't have to do the double big. We shouldn't. And if you watch, that lineup with the tallest guy is Shai being 6'6", was absolutely dominating. We won the fourth quarter by 16 points. So I have to disagree with that comment, but I do appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. And I'll make another point about why we can go away from the double big. On top of that is, their lineup isn't small in terms of their wings, but we'll still turn them over because a guy like Naz Reid can't keep up with us on the offensive and defensive floor. Yep. So we're still turning over these guys that have more length. We're not the Lakers. We have defense. We're not the Golden State Warriors where we're lacking offense either. So teams have more length than us, but that's okay because we make up for it in other ways, which we've seen throughout the whole regular season with the turnovers, with the intensity. And also, Shai's playing up to an MVP level right now, and we predicted this. He'll start out kind of slow, pick it up in the second round, Western Conference Finals. By the time he gets to the finals, this guy is going to be absolutely lethal. I mean, his shot's starting to fall more and more, and he's getting more and more comfortable. He's seeing every type of look that you can see. I mean, there's a screen grab that I can show you guys where there's 3 Minnesota players that are contesting him. And I'm over here thinking, man, what player was getting contested like that shooting in the mid-range? Man. Hey, man. If you know, you know. So
another thing. Capers, this one directed at you because I've been complaining to you about it a lot behind the scenes.
All righty.
21 3-pointers attempted tonight. Only 21. We made 11.
I was going to bring that up.
No wasted possessions. There was one where Shai rushed a 3. That was it. But 11 of 21 is right where this team needs to sit. It doesn't need to be 11 of 40. 11 of 21 is right where we need to sit because we're getting to the rim at will.
You want to know why, Joe?
Why?
Do you want to know why? They're not running. They ran zone, but they ran man a heavy percentage today. When they run man, we have people that can beat one-on-one coverage. We have people that can use the screen and roll, make decisions. It's a lot easier than the zone. That's why they're not taking as many threes because Shai's a mid-range guy. J-Dub's a mid-range guy. Those are our leaders. Those are our top scorers. And that's what it's calling for. They can get to their spots in the screen and roll without having to shoot a bunch of threes because they don't have 5 guys in the lane. So, that's kind of how that goes.
Another thing I'm really loving right now.
I love you though, Joe. Yeah.
I have on my TV right now, I got Julius Randle and Ant in their post-game presser, and Julius Randle's looking at stat sheet laughing. I don't have the volume on, but just him laughing shows they're not ready. He thinks he's going to keep doing this. He's not. He could laugh his ass off. I want to see all those accounts. And ESPN tonight talking about fouls. It was even. It was 22-22 tonight. So don't give me nothing about it. Doris Burke called Shai a free throw merchant in the first quarter of the game.
Yeah. Good old Doris.
Get your ass off my TV, bro. It was 22-22. Shut your ass up and just watch the game.
The ESPN and national media agenda to push Anthony Edwards because he's MJ's son is getting out of hand right now. To discredit Shai, who's an MVP, in the way that they're doing it is just egregious. Like I'm getting tired of it, man. And on top of that, hold on, I gotta make another point.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead.
Edwards
go off.
Went MIA against a second-year, 21-year-old Casey Wallace, strapping him up, putting him in a seatbelt. Come on, bro. And they're talking about MJ's son.
Casey's one of the best defenders on the planet, bro. Listen, I'm going to go back to this comment here. We're going back and forth, which I love the dialogue. Keep them coming. Really appreciate all of these comments. Wait, nope, wrong one here. Here we go. So this is a conversation we were still having. He says he still disagrees. You're expecting the Wolves to go 14 from 50 from 3. He says he watched the same fourth quarter and watched Dante, Nikhil, and Julius miss wide open threes. Maybe Dante and Nikhil. Julius only missed 1 3 this whole game. So, but maybe Dante and Nikhil. But you have to understand, bro. That's the game plan for Dante DiVincenzo to try to take over. This is not his series.
It's
This is
not.
not his matchup. And they weren't wide open. They had a hand in their face. I'm not expecting them to go 14 for 50 every game. But if they want to continue to shoot 53s while we're not wasting opportunities and getting to the rim and getting to
Be
the
our
free throw
guest.
line, they're done. They're done. Like, they have no chance in this series. Based off that comment. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I know it's 1-0 and next game will be completely different, but
Right.
I like this one from Hotspot Casino. Just shout out Hotspot. That's my guy. But yeah, bro, I mean, we didn't even play great tonight. We shot, what did we shoot? I mean, we ended up shooting 50%.
Here, I got the shooting stats. So field goal, we
Started
shot
off
50%.
slow.
We
Started
shot
off
50%
really
from the field. Minnesota shot 34, 35%. From three, we shot 52%. They only shot 30%, or like 29 and a half. Rebounds were pretty much a wash, 46 to us, 42 to them. And then turnovers, we had 15 turnovers. They had 19. But the big difference was we outscored them by 30 points in the second half. And I have to get the screen grab of it. I'm in a chat with a bunch of Thunder fans on Instagram. And I'm like, in the second half, we're about to blow these guys out of the water, because I saw the way the game was going in the first half, and I sat back and I just smiled, because I can proudly say my Thunder in 6 prediction is absolutely wrong, because I'm moving it at least to Thunder in 5. I think they can still take one game off of us, off of just like having a decent shooting night, and maybe Anthony Edwards takes over for one game. I literally cannot see a way in which this team can outperform us for the series in general, but I don't think they can even take 2 games off of us anymore. I was trying to respect them, but after what I just watched, there's no way. There's no way.
They rely on the three-point shot too often. I'm reading Minnesota Twitter right now. One account says literally don't turn the ball over and don't foul, and you beat the team. Brother, you have to understand OKC is the best team at creating and forcing turnovers and scoring in transition. That's why they are the number 1 seed. That's why they won 68 games. That's why they're here. And that's why you got shit on tonight. That's what OKC does. So, yeah, literally don't turn the ball over. It's not that easy, man.
It's not that easy, bro.
In the pregame,
like Mason and Caruso all over you the whole game long.
Yeah, in the pregame presser, one of the questions that was the first question that was asked to their coach was, how are you going to limit the turnovers? So they know, the reporters know that's the main issue they're going to deal with. The coach knows, the players know. Even at the first quarter interview with Randall, he mentioned we got to limit the turnovers. They know, but they can't stop. They can't stop us from
We were
can't stop
turning over Nikola Jokic 7 times in a game 7, man.
And that's hard to do, bro.
Bro,
that's extremely hard to do, bro.
And I'm looking at all these free throw merchant. Yeah, free throw merchant in the second half today. 20 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 8 of 14 shooting. Get the fuck out of here. And also, Chris Finch is a bitch too.
Oh, what'd he say?
No, just the regular season. You can't touch Shai. You can't. Their whistle. We're the number 27 ranked whistle in the league, bro. Fuck out of here.
You know what he said in the pregame? In the pregame presser, he was asked about Lou Dort's defense on Anthony Edwards, and he was like, every time Lou Dort touches him, it's like a foul or something like that. The way he was describing it, and it's just like the way he's using the commentary, and he thinks he's going to get a leg up with the referees. Nothing can change the fact that the Thunder are going to turn them over, stop them from shooting threes, limiting Ant Edwards, and just in general in field goal attempts. In the regular season, I think he averaged 4 more field goal attempts against every other team compared to us. So he's taking less shots against us. And we've seen that throughout the whole regular season. I know Joe can attest to this. Every time we were live, there was guys that barely shot the ball against us. So we've seen it with other superstars. And I mean, I expected this with Anthony Edwards. And that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And I already knew this going into the series. But I thought Randall could sustain a little bit better. But that man has had the fakest 2 series previous to this one, and I am so excited about it. Knicks Randall is back, baby. Let's go.
We do have to understand that he has been outstanding. Like, he's been great for them in the playoffs. I don't know the specific number, but not that we slowed him. Actually, let me rephrase. We took him out of the game in the second half. Not even by him missing shots. He wasn't even able to shoot the ball in the second half. He was completely out of the game thanks to J-Dub, thanks to Lou. He finished the game with 13 field goal attempts and 28 points. I think he was at 20 at halftime and like 8 field goal attempts. So in the second half, we completely took them out. Now I want to speak a little futuristically. I mean, this game's kind of washed. It's 1-0.
Yeah.
We blew them out, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? On to the next. If we are able to win game 2, I'll call it there. And I'm being dead honest. You know me, I get nervous. I'm a very superstitious type of guy. I won't jinx. If we win 2-0 in OKC, we're gonna take at least one in Minnesota, and that's it.
No, we're going 4-0. If we take
I think we're going 4-0. Even if
Yeah.
I think we're going 4-0 now, bro.
Also, real quick, we'd like to welcome a special guest, Sapphire. Introduce our guy.
Gabe, man, he runs the lead overall, and he's on TikTok as well. And I definitely want to wish him a warm welcome. Welcome in, man. We've been live here for 21 minutes, and we're super excited. We've broken down a lot of the game, but we'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for the invitation, man. It was a wild game 1. I got to tell you, it's a tale of 2 halves. Like, I think you guys can agree with that. First half, what would you say? OKC, like, they really, like, trying to find a rhythm. Shai after the game, he said, they were just rusty. And that could be true. But looking at the way that they played, Minnesota just came in with a lot of energy. They were just hitting shots. OKC, SGA can't get to his spot. They're showing multiple bodies. 2 of 13 in the first half. Then in the second half, you saw the way that they changed the way that they played. Jalen Williams was bringing the ball up. Williams off the bench was hitting shots. 10-plus points for him? Lou Dort splashing a 3-pointer. Casey Wallace over here. It just opened up the floor. After that, Shai could operate, and it was over. The hell they gave Minnesota in the passing lanes, the ball pressure, not being able to get into a groove. They forced them into 17 turnovers? 5 for Julius, 4 for Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even score in the fourth quarter. They just put the clamps on them. You know what I'm saying? And but the biggest takeaway from this game was Shai Holmgren to me, because the way that he was playing down low, able for them to play from inside out. Because at first they were trying to get to the basket, couldn't do that. Shai got to the foul line, but they couldn't score in the paint. Chet, when he did that, it just opened it up for them to be able to play from outside because they could not double him anymore. So OKC has a lot of things to be excited for going into game 2 for sure.
Yeah, I got to ask you a question, Gabe. Also, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Second half, Shai was able, I mentioned this before, Shai was able to score 20 points on 8 of 14. Xavier and I talk a lot about spacing for Shai.
Yeah.
And when Hartenstein's only played 20 minutes, I think a lot of it was for rest, but we go away from Chet and Hartenstein on the floor together, and we space the floor. I believe it's the most optimal position for this offense around Shai. I think it creates a lot of space for him, able to get to his spots, no matter how, like, he'll do it as much as he wants when he has the spacing on the floor.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying the first half is kind of an anomaly because they were double big for most of that first half, but once we went away from it, it was game over.
True. That's true. And that was, I would say, for them, that worked a lot against Denver. That worked a lot against Memphis. That's not going to work against Minnesota. Minnesota with Naz Reid, who can play from the outside. Julius Randle, who had 18 in the first half, and he was hitting 3-pointers deep, a couple of steps behind the 3-point line. You can't play with the double big. And your coach, give credit to your coach, Mike Dano, who made that adjustment. He made that adjustment, and Jalen Williams being more of the playmaker, more of the play initiator. Those were the 2 things outside of the ball pressure that changed the whole complexion of the game. Taylor, 2 halves, man. Like, it was 2 completely different halves.
Yeah. Randall went 0 for 1 in the third quarter, by the way. After
1 shot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
After scoring 18 in the first half, 1 shot.
Yeah, literally. So, and after the game, SGA mentioned OKC's rim protection, and someone asked him like why it's so strong, and he said Chet Holmgren first and foremost. So he's agreeing right along with you, man.
Big Slim.
Oh yeah.
So Gabe, you I'm not necessarily familiar. Are you a Knicks fan?
I'm from New York. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. Let's move on. Next
Okay,
question.
Brooklyn Nets. No. So
Next question.
I have to get that. I respect the Nets, bro. I'm from New York as well. I respect the hell out of Brooklyn. You know, I love the organization. But this is great because I could ask you a question without a biased answer. Us three up here, we're obviously Oklahoma City fans.
Yes.
Very biased over here.
Are we getting foul calls that other teams aren't? Because I saw 22 fouls on each team tonight.
Yeah. Listen, I'll put it to you like this. Every foul isn't the same. Every foul isn't, as much justifiable. I will say, like, it's not that you're getting fouls that other teams aren't getting. It's that you guys know how to create fouls. You guys know how to get to the free throw line. It's a distinction that needs to be made because we live in a society now where we just look at the box score, we go on the real app and say, wow, look at how many free throws, look how many shots. When rather, if you watch the game, you would see these dudes are putting their arm right there, and SGA is just like, oh, let me get that.
Mm-hmm.
Versus,
awesome answer, by the way. Really
just
appreciate that.
Yeah, versus the refs are just saying we're just going to give them fouls or they flop or whatever. Part of the game today is getting to the free throw line because a lot of times dudes play fast. You can slow the game down like that, and SGA likes to half court, gets his spot, mid-range, step back, whatever. But at the end of the day, no one is giving you guys fouls you haven't deserved.
Exactly. I really appreciate you being honest about that because I can't stand it no more. I watch every second of every game, and we get fouled. Yeah, our star might get two calls that could go at 50-50, but so is the other team's star. Like you saw Nikola Jokic. You saw Nikola Jokic.
One thing though, man. Like when I watched the first half with Shai, he had 7 free throws, right? And I'm like, this dude's 2 of 13, and he's getting to the basket like it's nothing. And I'm like, hold up, what's going on? But then you watch the replay, dudes is just throwing their hands in there, getting too excited.
Boom.
Thank you. I'd also like to point out, ex-head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Mike Malone.
I was waiting for it.
Tonight.
I was fired.
He mentioned tonight that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showed why he's the MVP tonight. So if we could just give the guy the trophy, we're about a month and a half behind here. It's normally announced right after the first round, given to him in the second round. But I don't really know what the NBA is doing with that. I really actually have no explanation.
I can say something to it. The only explanation that I can give for this is that they're going to do it after like the finals, maybe like where he's on a stage similar to like Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook's first MVP. Maybe it's that special for the organization. I feel like that's where it's heading because if he's not going to get it in those first 2 rounds, there's no reason he's going to get it in this one or in the finals. And I'm sure they're predicting us to at least get to the finals or whatever. So wherever we end up, he's going to be on a stage somewhere having a speech with all his teammates right behind him, his family in the front row. And I can't wait for it because that's where it's looking like it's headed. And Shai's starting to prop himself as a face of the league type of player, right? Especially if he beats Jokic, beats Anthony Edwards, and then possibly goes into MSG. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves yet, but it's looking great. I mean, taking down Jokic is great. I just want to mention one last thing about the free throw shit, and I'll be done. I promise. I'll be done right after this. But I mean, I can't go on my phone without seeing complaining, bro. Minnesota fans, I got to talk to Minnesota fans directly right here. If you shoot 51 three-pointers, 51 threes, you're not going to have as many free throws. Mind you, you shot 30 more three-pointers and only shot 5 less free throws on the night. So y'all need to calm down and figure out maybe, it's the three-pointers. We're not getting to the rim to get fouled.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm done with that now.
I mean,
Minnesota fans got Joe amped up, man.
There you go.
And me, I'm amped up too. My DMs are flooded right now.
Yeah.
I can't even open my TikTok. Yeah, I can't even open my TikTok right now because it's so flooded with Shai, free throw, this, that, and the other.
Oh man.
The greatest thing to me is it goes back to the regular season. I said I was done, but I'm not. It goes back to the regular season when they beat us, when we blew a fourth quarter lead. And they were complaining about the free throws. And the next night, the following night, not one day of rest, they had to go into LA, and the Lakers shot like 50 free throws against them.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, well, we thought OKC was bad. Now they're talking about the Lakers. Just shut up. Your team's losing. When you lose, just take it. It's a 7-game series. Stop complaining, bro. Anyway, let's talk to Gabe real quick. This game's kind of a wash. 1-0. Second game will probably look much different. Maybe not. Who knows? But you said you're a Brooklyn fan. You don't want to talk about it as much, but I got to ask you a question. What the hell happened in the lottery, man? What happened in the draft lottery?
Woo!
I'm sorry, but I got to hear it from a Brooklyn fan.
I'm gonna tell you right here, right now. Honestly, I don't think it was rigged. I'm gonna throw that out there. It wasn't rigged. It was legit. It's happened before. We've seen other teams also get it. Trying to remember what was the last team that got it. The Spurs had something to do with that. They could have had 2 in 3 years. But the main thing that I want to point here, for my personally, this is how I look at it. The NBA script is scripting, dog. You're telling me the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka 3 months ago, excuse me. They just barely made the the playoffs. Then they end up getting the #1 pick. They win that coin flip to Chicago Bulls. That coin flip was the difference between getting the #1 overall pick and not. Now, granted, you have Utah and
Charlotte.
Charlotte. There's one more team. I'm sorry. There was 2 teams that had the worst. Utah and the Wizards. Worst records in the NBA. #5 and #6 pick. I'd be frustrated if I was their organization. I'd be pissed.
This seems to be a trend.
This
seems to be a trend because I can't tell you the last time that the worst seed actually got the #1 pick. The Pistons had almost the worst record of all time last year. And I think, what did they finish with? The 4th pick, the 3rd pick?
Something like that. It's
like
terrible.
That.
They should still have a better chance than most teams because look at the Wizards. Think about it. When was the last time the Wizards or the Utah Jazz were really good for a sustainable amount of time? Utah hasn't been good. Even when Donovan Mitchell was there, it was like first-round exit. No one expected them to be championship.
The last time Utah was actually good, like semi-good, was Gordon Hayward, Paul Millsap, Al Jefferson. Like it was that type of squad.
Darren Williams.
The Wizards was John Wall. I mean, they tried. They've just ran into LeBron most of the time. But yeah, I mean, I like how you mentioned like the 50-50 coin flip. It's ironic how they trade Luka, they get the #1 pick. It's happened in the past, man. LeBron signs with Miami. Cleveland gets the #1 pick. LeBron comes back to Cleveland. Cleveland gets the #1 pick to trade for Kevin Love. I don't know. It just seems to be.
LeBron's from Cleveland. You really think that they really were supposed to get the #1 pick? It was all about story. Derrick Rose goes to Memphis.
Yeah.
Chicago has the #1 pick. Yep. You really think that they just barely won the lot? Come on. And it went from real quick. It went from doing the ping pong balls live to now it's they already know the decision before it happens because of Temi Mutombo one time he had to slip up a couple years ago where he announced what the lottery was before it actually got done. So it's like we already knew, but we're showing the world that we didn't know. So now it's like they already done it. There's just so much shenanigans going through it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then one more point I was going to bring, and I completely just slipped my mind. Oh, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was just on a podcast saying he was talking to David Stern, before he was in the draft. David Stern says, "Where you want to play?" And he was like, "I want to play somewhere warm." And it was like Orlando and 2 other teams that were just not in warm places. And he goes, "I got you." And Orlando gets the pick, and Shaq ends up.
Come on, man.
It's fishy, man. It's fishy, bro. But listen, if the storyline has OKC winning the chip, I'm all for it.
That's it. That's all that matters, bro. That's all that matters, bro.
Guys, I want
to what you said real quick about the fouls. OKC was playing a zone that allowed for Minnesota to shoot threes. Minnesota just didn't hit them. It's not that they were forcing them. They just think DiVincenzo, ice cold. Nas Reed, ice cold. Didn't get his first basket until like the 4th quarter. If they didn't hit their 3-pointers, they were going to lose because they were open. It's not about fouling or not getting to the basket. You just didn't hit your shots. OKC was giving it to you. You didn't hit them.
Guys, I got some more game stats to pull up here. Ant had 7 in the first, 6 in the second, 5 in the third, and was held scoreless while Caruso was on him in the 4th quarter. Obviously only finished with 18 points. Also, quick question for you guys. Do we feel like SGA really had a good game? Because he had 31 pretty early. Like he had 30.
This is what I'll call it. SGA had a Kevin Durant type 31. OKC Kevin Durant type 31.
Yeah.
10 of 27, super inefficient for his standards.
Right.
He'll sit around 50 for the rest of the series. You know what I found cute from Minnesota tonight? When they put in Clark. They put Clark back in the Shai Killer. They put him in for 3 minutes. He had to go back to the bench because that wasn't working for him. They're all over the place. They're going to make their adjustments, but they got no answers at the moment.
Oh,
Man,
listen, if you waited on me, I was just gonna say, hey, I just drew a blank. But if you look at this game with SGA, 10 or 27 obviously is not a good number, but this is the playoffs, where it's physical, it's all of those things. You need you a bucket getter, and SGA was that guy. He's playing phenomenal. You've seen so many guys, all-timers, have like a bad stretch, but then when it counts most, in money time, when you need something, they come through. SGA was that tonight. 10 to 27, 20 points in the second half, 8 of 14. That's a superstar. Like, he solidified himself tonight.
Yeah,
Gabe, you weren't here earlier, but I went through that we have like a 21-point average like margin of victory. Yeah. And I have another stat that backs that up. We had 31 total turnovers tonight, and we're up to 296 in the playoffs, and we're averaging 24.7 per game for the last 12 games, which is the highest since 1998 in terms of a postseason run. So our direct correlation with the turnovers correlates to our victory of margin, which shows how great this defense is. And this is a top whatever defense. We're not going to, label it too early or anything, but this is a historic run that we're going on right now.
Yeah, this type of defense in this type of era of basketball, it's crazy, because you couldn't play this type of defense 10, 15 years ago. And this type of league that we have now, it is monster defense. We haven't seen anything like it as of late in the last 5 years.
And we could give thanks from as OKC fans to Alex Caruso, to Jalen Williams, to Casey Wallace, to Chet Holmgren, to Isaiah Hartenstein. These are guys who are getting paid. Well, maybe not Casey, but Hartenstein, Caruso. These are guys who are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to play basketball, and they're playing like they're playing for a contract. And they already have one. That's why this team is so good. It's the effort. It's the IQ of our players, and it comes down to it. It's just the talent as well.
One player with championship experience as Caruso, no one else.
Someone asked Mark in the pregame presser, like, what's so special about the guys or the team? He said the character of the team. That was the first place. He said the men that they are and the people that they surround themselves with and the community that we have and how they support the community. I feel like the culture Sam Presti, Mark, Shai are cultivating, and the guys that we're handpicking to, whether it's the draft or trade assets or whatever, we're picking specific type of guys that have chips on their shoulders. All these guys were either second round, undrafted guys or, guys that had to work to get to where they are. And it shows in the team. Other point I wanted to make real quick for J-Dub, he's the second player in OKC franchise history to record 15-plus points, 5+ rebounds, 5+ assists, 5+ steals in a playoff game. The other person was Russell Westbrook 4 other times. So he's entering that versatile Russell Westbrook-esque, type of role where we have Shai as KD shooting really efficient. We've rebuilt and came full circle with this squad, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy we made it out of the Nugget series, guys. Like,
we were clutching.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness, we were so nervous that night.
What was your guys' anxiety level? I gotta know because you guys are on a scale of 1 to 10. Each of y'all. I know Thunder Talk. You was going crazy, man.
Like a 9, bro, because I thought we was gonna sweep them, bro. They just came off a grueling 7-game series. We had all this rest. They're older. Yeah. They don't have a bench. They're banged up, and they pushed us to 7.
And that's all because of Jokic, man.
I couldn't believe that, bro.
Championship experience.
Gabe, I've been watching OKC since 2010. My anxiety's through the roof. So no matter where we are, how we're playing, it's always I DM these guys almost every night at 2 a.m. the night before the game.
2 a.m.
Guys, yeah, he's not lying, bro. He's not lying, bro.
I'm like, guys, bro. I'm tripping. My stomach's already feeling some type of way. You got to calm me down. I need to go to bed, man. This team has put me through a lot. Especially over the last 15 seasons. So, well, we're up now. I guess we could end the OKC talk for a minute. I want to ask Gabe real quick. We already have our predictions in for the Eastern Conference final, but who do you have? Knicks, Pacers? Tell me why, and in how many games?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting series because these two got history. They say WWE predicted it, but that was right after they met in the playoffs last year. So, they did that. And Jalen Brunson was injured in Game 7, which is why they went on to win the Pacers. Josh Hart also got injured, and OG were injured. And that's why the Pacers were able to go on to the conference finals. This year, they're fully loaded, and they have Cat. They didn't have Julius Randle, who was injured last year's postseason, and now they have Cat. Then you're going up against that team. They have Siakam, sure. You can't sleep on Halliburton, who is underrated to me, not overrated. I have to say the venom, the hostility, the intensity, the players who, they have a chip on their shoulder, the bulletin board material, the rivalry, all of that. Both teams are going to play. It's going to be a nasty series. I have it going 7 because of the nastiness, but the Knicks ultimately win that series. I say that because they have the better squad, the better talent, the better rotation. The Pacers just have an offense that you don't know where their offense is going to come from. Anyone can light you from Philly. They do not miss shots. The way that the Boston Celtics were playing, where they were just chucking those things up and hoping and praying it goes in, Indiana's not going to miss those. They are going to hit them. So it's going to go 7, but I think the Knicks have the talent to get over the hump.
I absolutely agree with the Knicks. I love the breakdown. I had the Knicks in 6 just because you mentioned all the injuries from last year. Adding Mikal Bridges to that wing defense as well, I think that puts them a little bit over the top. Indiana, you said the nastiness is going to be there. These are rivals, so it's going to be a great series. But the way Brunson's been playing and adding Cat and all the healthy, I got him in 6. I got to give
Pacers, Racers, Los Angeles Lakers, Pacers in 5. Copy.
Knicks in 5, bro.
Knicks in 5. My bad.
Knicks in 5, bro. They got the best player in the series. They got the clutchest player arguably in the league. You've seen what Brunson was doing down the stretch of those Celtics games. They got Cat. They're going to – now, those games are going to be close. I'm not saying they're just like – you can win a series in 5 and each game be close, but it looks bad because you won 4-1.
Well, Boston swept Indiana last year, and each game
was close.
Each game
was close. Yeah, I think it's going to be something like that.
Mm-hmm. And the Knicks, like you mentioned, they got their guys this year. OG's here. Right, Cat in place of Julius Randle here. This is gonna be must watch, just like it is on the West.
Super exciting on both sides. But with that being said, really appreciate you, Gabe, for coming on. I think unless anyone else has anything else here to wrap up, Sapphire, you got anything?
No, I mean, there's no more, man. I'm super pumped for the next game. I'm about to go live on my TikTok probably for the rest of the night and just yap at all the Timberwolves fans that want to join me. I cannot wait. So I'm pumped for that, to be honest. I'm gonna be there as long as I can stay awake. So I'm super pumped.
Gabe, go ahead and shout yourself out on your socials.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for the invitation, man. I'm always happy to join. I know the playoffs is fun, man. You guys do a great job talking all about it. My name is Gabe to the Jordan on TikTok. I'm Gabe to the J Sports on Instagram. I mainly am on TikTok. That's where I mainly post my content. I like to cover all things NBA, post a game for every playoff game as well as the WNBA. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely make sure you hit the follow for sure.
Go ahead and give him a follow. You know you're going to anyway. All right, guys. Appreciate everyone listening.
Thanks for the invitation, guys.
Content. Of course, man. Everyone else listening, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Give us a like. Follow on all socials. You know where to find us. And Thunder Up, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.